Listen, I don't want to poke the bear here, but at 2, Pablo, power rankings? I like football and I like ranking stuff, and I really, really like ranking football stuff. But power rankings? Well, sir, I hate to marginalize anyone's work, but pro football already has power rankings. They're called the standings. And now more than ever, the negligible difference between the alleged best teams and merely good ones is determined by 65-yard field goals, bad injuries, and worse officiating. We don't need to further muddy the waters with opinions on who's good because it covers for the ugly truth. There are good teams, but 0 great teams right now. The best teams, by record at least, are the 9-2 Broncos and Patriots. But if your eyes are working, you know that they and the rest of the top 10 aren't demonstrably much better, if at all, than that second group of 10 teams. In a perfect world, 15 and 8 are not interchangeable, unless you're Megyn Kelly or Roger Goodell. This is, after all, the desired result of the pervasive mediocrity called parity Roger and his network partners crave. Yeah, the lack of discernible separation of quality between teams is theoretically good. Close games, right? More 500-ish teams and expanded playoffs equal more fan bases staying engaged for longer, which means more viewers, which means more ad revenue. But if every game's a coin flip, we can sure save ourselves a lot of time and effort by literally just betting on heads or tails. Consistency is good, but only some of the time. Sure, I like my red seedless grapes to be consistent enough so as to avoid the nightmare of that squishy one that ruins the whole experience for me. But consistency isn't always a virtue. The Browns consistently suck. Who's that good for? Don't worry, Raj. This isn't my breakup letter to pro football. Like Richard Gere, an officer and a gentleman, I got nowhere else to go. And like Stephen Sills sang about, if you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with. And man, I love football. Even a season that's kind of like that squishy grape. So yeah, I'd love to be watching a season with superstar quarterbacks providing singular moments and a sense of ongoing dominance that returns meaning to words like favorite and underdog and upset. Meantime, at least we can agree 8 is worse than 15. Wait, better? You know, I'm out of my depth here. I'm going to leave that one to Pablo. Let's start the show. Yes, hi and hello, my fellow football Americans. Welcome to Football America, presented as ever by our pals at DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. It's episode number 26. We like to honor the player who wore it best. I'm going to make it short and sweet. It's Rod Woodson, or it could be Saquon Barkley, or Le'Veon Bell, or Herb Adderley, or Wade Boggs, but I'm going with Rod Woodson. I wish I could get the opinions of Mike and Gino and Mike Fuentes, but we haven't the time. That's because Bradley Campbell, nay, his new nickname, or his old nickname that I just learned about, Soup, has requested a Geoff Schwartz full show. So let's get to it. All right, let's get into it here. Soup wanted this to happen. Let's make it so. His favorite podcaster, apparently, in all the land. He is the host of Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You, also on Fox Sports. Make sure you're consuming all his content, primarily, though. Here on Football America, it's our old pal, the love maker himself, Geoff Schwartz. What's happening, fella?
I am excited to see, I guess, Soup now in New York this week, because I was told that when I show up, there's going to be pizza there in the studio on Wednesday. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing, supposedly they're ordering me pizza because I have to try some pizza that's near the studio, Dave. I'm very much looking forward to coming in Wednesday.
Okay, well, I would rather it be soup.
Yeah.
I think you need some of them tubs of soup now. Like you should. I used to have at NFL Network, I noticed that some of the fancy pants is there. There was, I don't remember what it was, but Warren Sapp had his own signature dish up on the board in the cafeteria.
Okay.
And Rich Eisen had one. And I said, I want the whole salad bar. And they said... And they said, well, we're not going to give you the whole salad bar, but how about the soup station? And I said, done and done. And then they hung a sign up there, and it was the Dave Dameshek soup station. And I would sometimes oversee it, something to give people a thrill. I would dole out the soup for them.
Favorite soup?
5 bean. Good question. I like a nice 5 bean. How about you?
5 bean. Oh boy. I mean, a matzo ball soup is going to be near the top of my list. I mean, are we going as deep as like a good bowl of ramen? Are we doing that? Or are we more talking about like soup station type of food?
It's interesting. I've never seen ramen served at a soup station.
Yeah, I would go.
But by the way, just so I can finish the dumb tale, I about 3 weeks in, I came into the cafeteria and the sign had been taken down. I said, what happened? And they said, corporate was concerned that by giving you the soup station that other people might complain, and then we would have to deal with other people. So we're just going to avoid the legal issue, the legal issues of me having the soup station. Shame the devil. Anyway, I've never seen ramen served. I can't imagine anybody who goes to a soup station getting the ramen. Right?
I'd be all in, especially if the noodles were separate than the broth. You just mix them together at point of entry. I'm still partial. A chicken noodle soup, man. I think the classic, if it's done correctly, is my favorite at soup station.
Hey, now that you're talking matzo ball soup, though, Ethan and Stuart up there in the aforementioned New York offices wanted me to ask a question to you. Because they see you pass through those offices once a week there. They said, is Geoff Schwartz the largest Jewish athlete ever? And then I modify that to just largest Jew ever. How say you?
I mean, I don't think I'm the largest ever. I'm probably the largest Jewish NFL player ever. I'm trying to think of any linemen that have been bigger than me. I mean, I'm a large lineman. Like, I'm large for lineman size. I'm a large human. And so I'm certainly the largest of a pair of brothers that's played in the NFL who have been Jewish. I can certainly claim that. As the Horween brothers in 1923 had nothing on Mitch and Geoff Schwartz. But I'm not the tallest Jew. Obviously, there's taller ones, but like mass, I gotta be up there as one of the bigger ones ever. Yeah, it's a good call.
And it's Cantor, right? I started to quiz myself. Who could be a taller athlete who had a bar mitzvah than Geoff Schwartz? And Ennis Cantor may well be the answer. The irony of you being a giant Jew is that David killed Goliath, and you're Goliath. It's weird.
Yeah, Cantor's Jewish? I
don't know about. I don't think Ennis Cantor. That doesn't sound right.
Ennis Cantor wasn't Jewish or isn't Jewish.
No,
I don't think so.
He was raised Muslim. But the tallest Jewish athlete was Dolph Schayes.
Dolph Schayes.
Cool. Got to go back.
I mean, if you want to go
Spitz
basketball,
has to be pretty long.
If you want to go basketball, Amari Stoudemire would certainly fit that group.
That's a good one.
He is in there.
Technicality.
We're not Rod Carew in this one. We're talking about we're talking about born into this. All right, listen, I have a lot to talk about with you. We'll do some points per game here if we have time for it. But like I say, Soup was anxious. He went on and on to me in a text message. I really think Geoff is a strong guest and really think he makes this show sing when he joins us. So, all right, let's give Soup what he wants here. Let's do it. The jerk list. We are going to, Gino and Mike, I should say, are going to give us some statements, and we will evaluate if they're knee-jerk reactions or if they're rational thoughts about pro football and beyond. And then also we'll work in some garden variety jerks that walk among us each and every day. All right, take it away, Gino and Mike. Mike and Gino, who's up first here?
I'll be going first today, Dave, and I'm going to say that the NFC representative is definitely coming out of the NFC West.
Fun one. Take it away, Geoff, because I think the NFC North on a piece of paper is better. It's 4 deep after all.
Why are we dismissing the Eagles? Look, I get it. They don't win pretty sometimes, but all they do is beat playoff teams every single week, and they do it pretty comfortably most weeks. Dave, I get it. It's not aesthetically pleasing as the Rams or whatever the Bears are doing now, or the Lions. Some of the Lions' big wins, or Seattle, but all they do, so far they've beaten the Rams, right? This year they beat the Chiefs so far this year. They just beat the Lions. Like, all they do is win these games. They had a 2-game blip where they didn't lose. One of them, they needed, Denver needed a 14-point comeback. The other one was that weird Giants game on Thursday night. All they do is win. So I disagree. Does that mean this is a knee-jerk statement, right? So put it on the jerk list.
No. He just said that. Oh, yeah, no, I know. I'm sorry. You are. I can't even follow it anymore myself. Yes.
A blaster for Dave. Dave for not understanding the game. Yeah, didn't understand his own game. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I earned that one. Next, I want to weigh in on this though just a little bit. If you, to your point, Geoff, about the Eagles, if you lock in on any team, even the good ones, as I was just talking about here at the top, any team you can be like, I'm a little underwhelmed by blank, whoever it is, the Broncos, the Chiefs, you can make a case even with the Bills flying as high as they are. Every team, if you look just at them, you're like, nah, not that great. But contextualize it with the rest of the league, and the bottom line is there are plenty of good teams, and there's no great team that will resonate in a decade from now, let alone in a half a century, right? I mean, that's kind of where we are.
If the Eagles win back-to-back, that would resonate, but I don't know if they're even doing that right now. I mean, there's no team right now where you feel like that's a all-time great level team, and it'll make the playoffs fun, but I think it will make the playoffs. I think a lot of teams are going to get upset in the first round that are going to be at home in the postseason as of right now. Obviously, a lot can change between now and then, but Denver and the Colts, I mean, they're going to have home playoff games, and there might not even be the favorite in those games.
You need to be able to say, I was witness to that. Even if you hated the Patriots or you hate the Yankees, you want that marker in time that a dynasty or dynastic qualities provide for you. And so I think the best Super Bowl for all the narratives and everything, and obviously if you talk about Detroit versus Buffalo and, two teams who've never won, but I think for the for the quality of the sport to say, like, we're looking at a special era right now, I think what you want is Eagles against either the Chiefs, even though that's redundant, or against the Bills. I think those would be like, yes, that on a piece of paper in July when I was on the beach, I was thinking like those are the heavyweights, and that's what you need to see. What you don't want are fluky teams sneaking through and winding up in the Super Bowl because it discredits the sport ultimately. I know that's curmudgeonly,
as
but that's where I
someone
come
who
down.
has an exacta in both directions for Bills-Eagles, I would greatly take a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl. So that would make me a lot of money. I would gladly jump on board with that.
Listen, Football America's team of 2025 is the Buffalo Bills, and I am standing by them, if for no other reason than because I don't really see where the competition is at this point that measures up with them in the AFC. Next up on the, I'm sorry for the extended rant there. Go ahead.
Another blaster for Dave for saying next, and then as Gino gets ready to talk, he goes on for another 2 minutes. So there's another one for Dave. Go ahead, Gino.
I deserve it.
All right. Okay. The 7-3 first place Bears have the worst roster in the NFC North.
Ha!
Ooh, geez,
Jeff's doing the math.
That's a lot of players in my head to go through.
Okay, just go overall. Overall.
I mean, yes, but they're better quarterback than Minnesota, which is a big difference in the game that we saw yesterday, right? The Bears, though, have won 5 games this season. They've been trailing in under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, which is mind-blowing. 5 games this year they've won where they've been trailing in the last 2 minutes. They're not more talented than Minnesota, but their quarterback's better. That makes a big difference. Jim McCarthy he's young, hasn't played a lot, but he's not great right now, Dave. And so I don't think the Bears will sustain this, but they're getting better, right, with Ben Johnson, which we wanted to see from them this season.
So you agree?
I would agree, yes.
All right. So no blaster going to be doled out here. What it does kind of prove is, who deserves a get-out-of-jerk-free card is one Dave Dameshek, because I think things are starting to track more and more week by week towards exactly what I said. Watch the Bears not take off in week 1, but they will slowly start to ascend, and they will seem more credible as we go along. And the Lions will do the opposite because Ben Johnson left one NFC North team and jumped in with another one, and now we're seeing the results of that, right? Is it that simple? I think it is.
I mean, the game plan wasn't great for the Lions yesterday, but also Goff completed 2 of his last 18 passes. I mean, is that a Dan Campbell problem? I don't know. But Goff was certainly not good last night. So, yeah, I mean, you probably get a downgrade from the Lions and an upgrade from the Bears, and that might be the difference. But I still think the Lions, I would still pick them to win the division right now.
Okay, but by the way, Ben, we can diminish Goff or otherwise, or the mighty Philadelphia Eagles defense, which, by the way, historically, just in the 21st century, one of the things that is unsatisfying is that Chris Collinsworth isn't a shill, but he also gets the assignment that Sunday Night Football is a big time thing, and boy, this should be fireworks, Al. This should, or who's ever in the booth with him, Tirico. This should be fireworks. The Lions and the Eagles, and then you realize, like, boy, Detroit can't even get to double digits. This is bad. So then he swings into the mighty Philadelphia Eagles defense, which statistically at least is allowing 20 points a game. Measure up the best defense right now in 2025. It's the Houston Texans. They allow about 16.5 points. That's a far cry from what dominant defenses in the 20th century did. But even by the measure of 20 years ago, the best defenses, let's say the Chicago Bears in 05, were allowing 4 points fewer than that. And the next year, the Ravens in 2006 allowed the same. So 4 points fewer. There is no such thing as a real, like, if you grew up, if you're older than 25, there is no such thing as a true dominant defense. But the Eagles kind of like present as close as we're going to get here. Again, I hate to be a curmudgeon, but that's what I'm being today. Next.
So a little quick note on that. While the Bears now currently sit in first place in the NFC North, according to our friends at DraftKings, they have the third longest odds to win. They're at plus 400. Above them is the Green Bay Packers at plus 140, and the Detroit Lions are the favorite at plus 120. So moving on. No one wants to trust the Bills, but they're the only team that looks ready to come out of the AFC?
I just took my bite at that apple, Jeff. It's your turn.
I mean, they might need the five of us to play defense for them. I don't really... I mean, I just, how do I buy a team that has to have a Josh Allen 6-touchdown day to win a game when their opponent scores 32 points? It's not a way to play football. I mean, Tampa Bay fumbled there at the end that gave them the Bills that final score. If not, I mean, look, they made a play, certainly fair. If not, Tampa probably drives down the field and gets close to winning. Do I trust Josh Allen more than the other quarterbacks we'd see in the playoffs? Absolutely. But I don't trust his defense. You cannot win, in my opinion, postseason games with a defense that allows 200 yards rushing. And they've allowed it so many times this season, Dave. So that really concerns me. And would I back them because they have Allen? Absolutely. But that would terrify me to just not be able to get a stop at the end of the game. I think, again, I still trust them for Allen, but I don't trust their defense at all.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and I'm loath to ever repeat a thought. I almost never do that, but I'm gonna do it here. And guess what, everybody? You're gonna hear this a lot as we head down the home stretch here. The number one seed isn't everything, but it's massively important. And if the Bills would have dropped that one, and I was all set watching that game for Tampa to rally and defeat them,
I thought so too. Yeah.
I was thinking, well, that's a wrap. The Bills are a wild card now. And I know other people have pointed at it, but I mean, the Chiefs, spoiler alert, are going to get into the playoffs. I know you're now debating this in your own head and talking to other people about it. They're going to get in. They're 5-5. The team that's going to miss, I hate to say it, is the Steelers. And I'm not trying to be a cynic. They are. Look at how it stacks up. The Bills are going to get in over them. Here come the Texans. Do you think the Ravens aren't going to catch Pittsburgh by the end of it?
The Ravens stink right now. Jeez.
But my larger right. See, you just proved the point I made 5 minutes ago. If you look at the Ravens, you're like, man, they're not that good. This isn't a vintage Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson era team. But look around. Who else is good? Who do you like better than them?
No one.
It's the power rankings are the weirdest of all time because, I mean, the Patriots aren't the best team, but if they get the number one seed and only have to play 2 games and both of them go through Foxborough, I mean, all bets are off. And same goes for Mile High. And if it snows and is frigid, who knows what's going to happen.
But there's also a rhythm to postseason, Dave, and there are certainly outliers to this, but for the most part, you get in and you sort of have a year where you struggle, and then the next year you're better, right? Like that's sort of the way it works in the postseason, and there's certainly outliers to that. So to come in year one of your Drake Mays, I know it's year 2, but year 1 of the postseason. Bo Nix, year 1 postseason. Daniel Jones, I guess it would be year 2, right? He went with the Giants a few years ago. So I actually I think Daniel Jones a little bit more because he's had the experience. It's not the same thing as playing the regular season. And that's why those guys lose those games, right? I mean, how often Mahomes didn't make it to Super Bowl in year 1, you lose. Like it's hard your first time in the postseason. And so that's Josh Allen at least has been there, which is hugely important. Mahomes has been there before. That's why I think it's hard for a lot of us to choose and pick these teams that haven't done it before, because the NFL is a place where a lot of times it takes a few years to win some playoff games to make a Super Bowl.
I think that sounds right. And if you didn't look it up, I would you'd say, Geoff just made a great point. Of course that's the case. You are probably right off the top of my head about your first go in the postseason as a quarterback. Right. But what's wild is in the 21st century, a sweet spot to get to the Super Bowl is your sophomore year. It's weird how many guys go to the Super Bowl and win or at least get there.
But did Big Ben not go to the playoffs in 2004?
No, he did. So that's why I'm not considering him in that equation. But Bo Nix is right there.
Did Russell Wilson go?
Yeah, remember they almost beat the Falcons in Atlanta. They lost on a Matt Bryant field goal at the gun, if I remember.
So, that's my point. But Bo Nix is not Wilson and Big Ben at least went to the playoffs first year, right? Bo Nix did they go last year to the playoffs?
Yeah, they did, right?
Oh, they lost to Buffalo. They got beat. They got blown out by Buffalo. Yeah, so Denver's a team. I just don't trust Bo Nix in the offense, but that would be a team where, to your point, and maybe the counter to my argument is they were there last year. They get back in. They're a 1 or 2 seed. That defense and just Bo Nix, don't mess it up, dude. Make a couple big throws like you did yesterday, and we're all of a sudden hosting an AFC Championship game.
So I think there were no jerks to be hit with the blaster there. Interrupting game of life, but also football, because Thanksgiving involves football after all. And Thanksgiving, and we had on our most recent episode the great Jessica Smetana, or formerly great, before she went to the banks of the Three Rivers and spent her time impugning the head coach of poor Pitt. Well, you feel good that Notre Dame bullying around an 18-year-old kid like that? Shame on you.
I'm glad that. I was worried, about Pitt in that game, but this game didn't matter though. The coach didn't care whether they lost 100-3 or lost 3-2. So who cares, man? LOL, you lost the game by 30. What does it matter? It doesn't matter.
I know you make jokes, but I mean, the ACC is playing with fire. What if Pitt beats Georgia Tech and Miami, which is plausible, and then somehow wins the ACC, you don't put them into the top 12. And so now the ACC, a Power 5 conference, allegedly would have no teams in the tournament. And that would be a pretty big black eye for a Power 5.
But are you going to really put JMU and North Texas in the playoff over an ACC team? I mean, I get it. I get it. Look, I've never been a fan of the automatic qualifier for the G5 team. I think that in a year when Boise State, last year, is actually legitimately good, they're going to make the playoff in most years with the 12-team playoff. They just are. But to have one of these teams in this year, man, I mean, you're going to have Georgia as a 5 seed, or Bama, or Texas Tech as a 5 seed, Oregon as a 5 seed. They're going to be 28-point favorites against North Texas at home December 20th. It's really not the point of the playoff at all. It's not a participation tournament. It should be a tournament to find a champion. And the idea that it has to be fair, I mean, sports are not fair, first of all, but no one goes to North Texas to win a national championship. What do you mean?
But then they'll make them. But the point, my pushback on that is always we don't do that in the NFL or in professional sports. Right, and you talk about fairness, you wouldn't be like, well, I mean, the Seahawks are 7-10. I know they won the division, but they don't get to play a playoff game. Right, but we all get that they're not good. I'm with you largely. Then just get JMU out of D1. Then, you shouldn't
the problem, Dave.
Dangle that carrot like that.
The problem is obviously that you can't compare them, because in professional sports you play a balanced schedule, right? And you play division schedule, and you play division. There's a structure to it, and no humans making it up. It just goes off the win-loss record. If we just went off the win-loss record in college football, or we had a system where we had, I'm not even sure how you would do it properly. We had, no rankings didn't matter. I mean, that's why when they want to expand the postseason, the bigger conferences, the ACC, the Big Ten and the SEC, just want 4 automatic qualifiers. We don't have to decide anything. Top 4, it's basically what the NFL, right? It's the top 4 teams in the Big Ten and the top 4 teams in the SEC, they're in, right? So there's no human element to it all. You just rank like we do with tiebreakers, and it's like winning division, right? In the NFL. And that way, we don't have to talk about this anymore because it's just settled on the field. But right now, the system's set up where humans are deciding whether or not teams are in, and that's where we get into the nuance of what this all means.
I love people, as soon as the game was over against Alabama, people immediately advocating for, well, Texas has to go, but Bama still has to go. But like the SEC,
Bama will be ahead of Oregon, I think, this week in the rankings. As a
oh my God,
team.
the SEC wonks are way worse than anybody who tries.
Just
to
remember,
tout
if the SEC loses a conference game, it's because their schedule is so tough and their conference is so good. If the ACC or the Big Ten loses a conference game because they stink,
it's shallow.
That's the logic of the ACC.
It's a top-heavy conference. Only the SEC benefits from it's so deep. You can't ever take a week off, except when we play the Citadel in early November.
It's this week. It's this week. This is the Citadel week, Dave. This is the one. This is the week.
Well, they've earned it. They're better than the rest of us. By the way, Mike and Gino, get that related sound that I sent you ready, because I want to see what Geoff thinks about that. But the question that I was going to get to a couple minutes ago is related to Thanksgiving. Is Jessica Smetana and her dear friend Mike Fuentes are the latest to jump in on the big hot take with all the cools. They love doing this one about Thanksgiving. Why don't you tell us what you think there? It came up on Mystery Box Mystery Crate. Go ahead and lay it on us there, Mike.
I was about to give you the blasters of blasters for misrepresenting my beautiful Mystery Crate podcast. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to give you the triple blaster.
Why are we withholding blasters?
Yeah, it's crazy. There you go. You get that. And so here's the take. Turkey's probably the worst possible meat you could have. There's a reason we only have it once a year. It's a big, dry bird. I think probably the only reason they had it the first Thanksgiving was it was available. And hey, that thing looks big. It could feed a lot of people. It sucks. Replace it with meat. I'd rather have carnitas. Give me a nice taco. Give me something else. I'm out on turkey. No turkey at Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I told my mom a long time ago, once I start doing Thanksgiving, that's it for the turkey. You're done with turkey.
So you obviously have not had anyone who's made you a good turkey for Thanksgiving.
Oh, here comes you got to deep fry it. Oh, you got to deep fry it. You got to do this. You got to do that. It's got to be all deep fried. You have to do this seasoning and this seasoning.
Yeah,
all these qualifiers.
Cook it so it tastes good.
Oh,
what are you talking about? Do you do the same game, Mike, with steak too? Any preparation of a piece of meat tastes good to you?
Now I get the whole dissertation of how you got to prep it right and you got to do it like this.
Yes, like any piece of meat.
Yeah. I inject mine with the Creole butter seasoning.
Ooh.
I cold brine it overnight in the fridge so it gets. I put salt and
now it's a whole science project. Oh my God.
I put a bird into a fridge for 12 hours. How fucking hard is that? What do you mean science project? And then I just drop it in a fridge for 12 hours with salt on it. Real risky science project, Dave. And then I fry it, of course. I take it out. It's delicious, of course, like that golden skin. Oh, it's so good. And then what I find the best part about it is then I cut it up, obviously, and I have sandwiches for 3 days. Mm-hmm. And you do the nice sourdough bread. You do I like mayonnaise. I know some people don't. Put a little mayonnaise, some cheese. You do the turkey cold, do it hot. And the sandwich variety over the next couple of days, you can even put, if you want to go big, you put stuffing in the sandwich too. There's many ways to make a sandwich.
Yeah.
Now do all that to something that actually tastes good. Imagine how good it'd be.
The case that they're trying to make is that turkey isn't the greatest of meats. And I'm not going to...
No one's disagreeing with that.
I'm not going to fight you on that. But by the way, if you want to rank meats that we consume as humans of other beasts that roam the big blue marble.
We talked about that last week, Dave. Hammers, meats. We did all that last week.
I get swine, cow. Those are your top two no matter what. There's chicken is good. You want a worse meat that they exist? You want liver? How about that? What if the tradition was liver?
Who makes your turkey? What's your experience with?
You having bad bird experience.
At this point, I don't even know.
Bad bird experience.
At this point, I don't even know. I just know steak is the SEC, and then turkey's down here. They're the ACC. The turkey's hoping to get a bid into the tournament. It's hoping to get a bid in.
You're an ACC fan.
You're also forgetting a very important thing.
Come to the Schwartz household. You're welcome to come. My brother's going to be here this year. We're going to make a feast. You will enjoy the turkey. The golden skin fried with the Creole butter inside the chicken breast. How do you dark, like a dark meat, like the leg, the thigh? It's so good.
Fundamentally, Mike Fuentes, and Jessica Smetana, wherever you are, up on Mount Pius, apparently. Both of you sitting here, like, I like Christmas, but I don't like how that tree clouds up my living room. I'm no trees for me. What we just throwing all the rules out?
Ridiculous. I don't got to eat the tree, Dave. I don't got to eat the tree, Dave.
Yeah. You're picking up what I'm laying down.
Yeah.
Our tree got delivered yesterday, by the way. It's way too soon.
Thank you. See, I knew me and Geoff would find common ground. I went to my mom's house last night. It's November 16th. The whole place looks like a Christmas wonderland. I'm like, Mom, what is happening? Please respect
We don't have lights on it yet. We don't have lights on it yet, but like
slow rolling it.
The trees just like showed up yesterday because they brought them into town. So our tree is installed in the house.
You are.
I advocate for exactly. We've been playing Christmas music, and believe me, I would start it on October 1st if I were allowed to. But in this house, the old lady she's one of these grown-ups who loves Halloween. So be it. I let her have it. But as soon as that calendar flips to November 1, the Christmas music starts and doesn't.
My daughter yesterday was like,
I love it.
Would put on Mariah Carey Christmas stuff, and then I said, "Well, what about any Hanukkah songs?" She goes, "No, Dad." So,
well. This is tough. I know Mike doesn't want to do it, but Gino, please turn the blaster on your brother.
Something wrong with the computer here. I guess it must be buffering. I don't know what's happening. We'll just move on. We'll get it later. Gino has no power here.
He has the power.
Gino has no power. Oh, please, guys. I run everything around here. Please.
He's in the other room today. I can't even reach over and do it if I want to.
Away.
Something's wrong.
You know how you fry that?
Must be updating.
You know how you fry that bird this year? Is with the blaster. That's the way you should have to eat it.
Yeah, something's wrong with the computer. I don't know what's happening. You can
Meantime, eat it and then set this one up for me. Geoff, I don't know if you caught this at the end of the Notre Dame Pitt game, and I'm sorry to involve Jessica Smetana again right after that, but she took to social media. She thought Pat Narduzzi calling a timeout with 15 seconds left was bogus and lame and all that. As I say all the time, no matter who it is, and I used to say about the U with Jimmy Johnson and Steve Spurrier with Florida, the backups are in. Their families want to see him score. What should they do? Just lay down on the field until the clock expires? These guys have scholarships too. They want to have a moment of glory. Of course, they're on national TV, big spot. Let them have it. If they can get into the end zone, let them do it. But they do score, does Pitt, at the gun to meaningless touchdown and apparently a non-must-win game for Pitt. But it goes so the final score 37-15 as the guy runs the ball into the end zone. And then the color analyst Jesse Palmer says this.
Here's your 4th and 6 as we hit zeros. And after calling the timeout, Malachi Thomas gets a touchdown reception.
Just out of curiosity, what was the spread in this game?
12 and change.
Okay, so that has no impact. I was just wondering.
Whoa. Geoff, is this a great idea, Mr. Bachelor? To be cracking wise, to insinuate that the game might be fixed in this climate? Hysterical stuff, fella.
I mean, the thing about it is there are certainly coaches that are very aware of the point spread.
Good. You're helping the story now.
Most of them, though, it's when they're big favorites. Like I don't know many instances where coaches, as like dogs, like look like they're trying to cover game. There are plenty of instances where favorites. I don't know if they know or not, but they're up 34 and it's 35, and they managed to score that touchdown with 4 seconds left. But I think your point about the backups is very true. Like these guys want to play. They might not have played all season. They're under scholarship, and you might want an opportunity as a coach to evaluate some of those guys. And 4th down,
right? That's the other practical.
You might want to evaluate. Right. Get an opportunity all year for the first time. Your backup offense has a 4th down to execute in that moment. But Palmer also should have known the spread before the game. Like that, come on. I mean, it's something you should at least have a general idea of before the game. The total was close. The total ended up being, I think, a point or two shy after that touchdown. But Pat Narduzzi's not in the moment, I think, thinking about, let's cover for us. Now, again.
I'm pretty sure he's not. I hope he's not. You're not helping here, Geoff. You're hurting.
Again, there are coaches that seem to always know when they're a 24-point favorite and to score that final touchdown to make it a 31-point game. I haven't seen it many times the other direction when you're a dog and you're trying to score late to cover.
I started on ESPN radio just as Jesse Palmer was coming off of The Bachelor. And he was, we were going to talk about college football, of course, but, I wanted to play a little game of life with him first. And so I asked him, I said, what was your number on the show? And he said, I don't know what you mean by number. And I said, it's a dating show. I think you know what I'm getting at. We're grown-ups here. And he said, I thought this was a family show. And I said, I don't know what would have given you that idea, but please answer the question. And ultimately, we arrived at 6 was his answer. And then we moved on to the college football talk. All Jake. Next morning, I get a call from my new bosses. Jesse Palmer is not happy. He is displeased and has blown in a call to his bosses in New York for asking him, for putting him on the spot like that. That was untoward. I didn't go on the dating show, and I didn't take anyone into the fantasy suite. I just asked you about that experience, and now I find myself, because I was required to do so, calling Jesse Palmer to apologize for him. Thank heavens I got his voicemail, because I don't know if I would have been able to have that back and forth.
Six feels a tad high for the show. You get three of those like fantasy suites, right? So that means he had 3 others outside of the fantasy suites.
Mike Fuentes, by the way, for the record, Mike Fuentes would not make his love on any of the women. Like, just because I'm on The Bachelor doesn't mean I have to do it with any of these women. Non-turkey, no turkey at Thanksgiving.
The thing about it is, you're just like, they feed you so much alcohol in those shows that I think it's just like that's what propels obviously some of the interactions on these reality shows. The Bachelor, for some reason, and Bachelorette seem to be a big thing, like with football Twitter. Like, they seem to love those shows. I only will catch it if my wife is watching it. Like, I don't get the joy in those shows. But he could just not answer the question. Like, there's ways to deflect enough to not answer that question. If you're keep pestering me, just be like, all of them. I slept with all of them. Like, just say something dumb and move it along. But to be like, yep, Dave, 6. Exactly 6.
Vain Dave, the reason Vain Dave enjoys watching The Bachelorette, not The Bachelor, but The Bachelorette, is because I get to look at like 20 or 25 guys who, and like, I learned this lesson a little too late in life. It frustrates me, as a matter of fact, at the end of the day. But, so in my head, 17, 18, 25, and like, why would any woman want to, why would they want to look at me, let alone touch me?
I understand.
And then I watch too much, too agreeable with my point. But I look at that, and then I look at the game of these guys, and I'm like, this is the competition? Oh my goodness. I should have been able to make.
Every now and then I run across someone who's single, and I asked them about the dating world, Dave, and it just seems like it is the worst. Like, being single, I don't know if any of you guys are single. I going on that show to have to do that, to find a love of your life, seems like a tough ask anyways, but the dating scene seems like it ain't very fun outside. Like, I'm not that I have any need to break up. I do need to ask my wife if she wants to make love with me at some point, but going to date sounds like the worst thing imaginable right now. Can you imagine, like, hey kids, good night, I'm going out with someone on a date? Just no chance. I
know, but then the other side of that coin is, and Mike Fuentes happens to be our resident single person here. The thing that I find intriguing, at least, is the idea that, like, you go on a cell phone at 1 a.m. and, like, you can meet up with a stranger. I mean, that wasn't available to us.
Yeah, I'd rather sleep.
That's because you're loaded up on turkey.
I'd rather
Mike Fuentes is ready to roll. He's nice and nimble.
I'd rather be sleeping at 1 o'clock in the morning than
he just had some carnitas and he's ready to do it all night now.
Carnitas on Thanksgiving. That's right.
If you told that to someone on a date, they would not talk to you again. If that came up, that topic of conversation, they'd be like,
they'd love me. I'm so original and against the grain. They'd love me. Oh my God, he's so eclectic and special. Oh, must have had a weird upbringing.
Jeff went right at who's making your bird. I like that. That was the.
It's a fair question. If you have someone who's not making you a good, like, I get it. A baked turkey can turn out bad.
Pick one up at Popeyes. Who cares where you get it? You have to have bird. Now, the law, according to a fascinating situation on the banks of the Three Rivers on Sunday, as the game is winding down. Jamar Chase and Jalen Ramsey get into it back and forth. And then Jamar Chase says, I didn't spit on nobody. But then Jalen Ramsey said, he spit on me. And we didn't know who to trust. And we didn't like, well, one guy said he did, and one guy said he didn't. And this is the plague of spitting on people that we saw earlier in the season as well. And I kind of like Jamar Chase's gamble here, which was to say, I didn't do it. It wasn't me rolling the dice. Maybe this time the HD cameras just didn't get it. How say you?
there's like 4 camera angles that have him spitting on Ramsey. I think the spitting and the groin punches are like absolute no-nos, and like that's Ramsey. He deserved to hit him in the face for that. It's so gross and disrespectful. Like, what? You can't just interact with another man on the field and have a little talk back and forth without spitting on someone. Like there's of course, like, you're gonna dislike your opponent at times. That's part of football. It's part of life, I think. Like, but there has to be a little bit of respect as a player to another player to not spit on that player, right? Like that's the grossest thing you can do is spit on someone during a game. And then to your point, like, no, I didn't do it. And then immediately, like, 8 videos. At
that point, he's already run afoul of the law. I may as well take the chance. Like, maybe they didn't catch me.
It was big loogie too. Like, it wasn't like a little bit of spit. It was a lot.
Gino said it was hanging off the face mask and everything.
Yeah,
huh?
That when you spit, sometimes it like hangs off because where the bar is at. I think he'll be suspended. I mean, you suspend Jalen Carter, you got to suspend him, right?
I mean, suspend Jalen Carter? Jalen Carter. I'm thinking Jalen Ramsey. I'm getting my J.
No, Jalen Carter got suspended.
Yeah, of course he's getting it.
But Carter got suspended. Now, the Carter thing was like first play of a first game of the season. I mean,
it was before the first play of the season.
That's how they didn't suspend him a second game, which was because they said he missed the whole game.
Which is so incredibly dumb, but never mind on that. He'll be suspended. Yeah, I mean, you just can't do that. Like, there's a line. Look, talk trash, fight after plays. Like, go be my guest. Spitting, groin punching, and then the helmet thing. I think you shouldn't hit people with your helmet. That's I just think you shouldn't do that. So those 3 things are
hot take.
Well, no, I mean, I got called a racist for that take, by the way.
Don't club people with a deadly weapon.
I got called a racist on TV I had Aaron Donald should be suspended a game for taking a helmet, hitting someone with it at practice, and I got called a racist by someone on ESPN. Would he say that about a white guy? I don't think so. That's what was said about me when I said Aaron Donald should be suspended. You can guess who that person was on the first take desk. I don't know, this Schwartz guy. Would he suggest a white player be suspended for a game? I would. Yes, I would. Uniform policy there.
I'm getting it from the other side right now about, and I'll get to that point in just a second. But the one thing I did want to say about, like, the world's filled with a lot of guys. I'm a guy, but we learned from this incident that Jalen Ramsey is a man, and a well-rounded man, because he's not just a football player. What we learned is he's steeped in National Geographic, or I don't know what his major was in college exactly, but he is in fact right, because he said of Jamar Chase that the people who do that, like, they're, and he's right about that, because he's right, because a Bengal tiger is a feline, and so we learned that he knows that, and he could probably do a whole explanation for us about that. And so I happened to be impressed by his knowledge outside the lines. The thing about Aaron Rodgers is, watching that game, it was another tepid performance, and I am guilty of doing what I said, half an hour ago about looking at one team and isolating them and being like, unsatisfying, not a great team are these Steelers, but the offense is underwhelming with Aaron Rodgers, and then it appears he broke a wrist. But I tweeted out in the tush push, he just stands there 10 yards back and just looks at it. I'm like, Can the Steelers really afford to just go with 10 men on a play, given this offense? It's not great, and I know it's symbolic on a level, but it kind of is representative of the limitations of having a brittle older guy out there that he can't get involved in pushing and shoving. He can't really run at a high speed.
No.
I think the mistake people make a lot is they now have to debate going into Chicago. to play the Bears is that's why they're going to Chicago, if that wasn't clear. Is the idea like you think Mason Rudolph is as good as Aaron Rodgers? I don't think Mason Rudolph on his best day comes anywhere close to prime Aaron Rodgers. The issue is that Aaron Rodgers is now in his 40s. And so the name brand is much greater than the reality of right now. And people are very cross with me for pointing that out. You hate him because of your politics. Well, whatever my politics are, which are pretty down the middle, I don't know what his politics are. I have no idea what he believes outside of some stuff. Anyway, Mike Fuentes is covering his eyes. Why is that?
Because I'm looking at the clock and running out. You've done no games with Geoff.
No, I think we've covered a lot of games, and now I'm going to cover this game right now. Who, if you were the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, would you start? An injured, bad left wrist Aaron Rodgers or Mason Rudolph?
Oh, man. I mean, probably Rudolph. You get a little mobility there, a little bit of running. You could do some things there. I mean, Rodgers, if he gets hit in that wrist again, I mean, that's probably it, right? Like, I just don't know what the goal for Pittsburgh is at this point. I would probably go Mason Rudolph if I was picking here, a healthy Rudolph, and maybe have some fun, design things in the run game for him and just find a way to get him out of the pocket and move him around a little bit.
All right, before we wrap it up with Geoff Schwartz, and I hope Soup enjoyed this. I hope it was a delicious episode.
This was fantastic. This was fantastic.
Mike, what do you want us to cover real quick here? What game would you like to hear about? What football issue did we not hit that is relevant?
Oh, I mean, I'd like to hear more about, the Chiefs because Geoff, last time I checked, Geoff played for them. He might know about that. Let's see.
The Chiefs don't make plays in big moments anymore. There you go.
There's a hot take there. Put it on Instagram. Boom. There you go.
Okay, give us a hot take then. Are you willing to say at 5-5 that they're really going to miss the postseason?
It's going to be tough, buddy.
Look at the competition. They're only 8
but
teams.
the problem is they don't have they lost tiebreaker to Jacksonville, so they have to get 2 up on Jacksonville essentially, right? So their schedule is wins against the Raiders and Titans, right? We feel comfortable about that. Probably beating the Chargers with the way they look right now, and probably beating the Cowboys. So that's 4 of 7 games left, right? Then you have to win 1 of Colts, Broncos, and Texans. So you need 10 probably to get in. You have to win 1 of those 3 games. That means that you don't. That means like you don't bet on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys.
Okay, but beat the primary ones, beat the Chargers, beat the Texans, and you're in. And the Ravens are going to catch Pittsburgh, and then the Steelers are going to be left out in the cold.
But Jacksonville has to lose a couple games. We need Jacksonville to lose.
By the way, if you dig it up, I told you the Chiefs better not lose that game in Jacksonville, or they're going to be in some peril. I told you that one would carry over all the way down.
I'm going to be a sucker and bet them in the 2-7 game to win outright, which they'll be a favorite anyway. So that's a dumb wager to make. But, I mean, they're going to go to, let's say, what? Who's the 2 seed, you think? Buffalo. They're going to be, but who's
Denver or New England?
I mean, what's the number them in 2-7 at New England in Wild Card Weekend on a Saturday night? Chiefs are laying, what, 4? 4.5?
Up in New England?
Yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah. 4.5, 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will lean hard against the sophomore.
And it'll be Saturday night probably, and that'll be a fun game to watch. I would take the Chiefs probably.
Oh, Jeff's going to be sweating, cold sweat watching that Cowboys game over his turkey.
I can't wait.
And Mike Fuentes is going to be celebrating over his carnitas.
I just love that the whole thing is like so down on the Chiefs. They're not going to make the playoffs. And then I'll probably take the Chiefs up in Foxborough. 2-7 matchup on Saturday night.
No, it's very serious. I said this earlier. This is the thing. If the Chiefs actually get in the playoffs, that means they play better football than they play now. And if the Chiefs do play the better football, they're a very good team. The problem is they're not playing the better football now. They're making all these mistakes they've never made at the end of games. So if they win those games to get in the postseason, that means they're playing better football. That better football is going to beat a lot of playoff teams in the AFC.
Which brings me all the way back to where we started this show, which is No one's playing great football.
Correct.
The Broncos are impressive, and the Patriots are, and the Rams are an intriguing storyline and everything, but nobody is great. The Chiefs are just fine when you compare them to all the other pro football teams. That's where we'll wrap it here because we have to go now. Thank you to Geoff Schwartz. Geoff Schwartz is smarter than you, or at least Mike Fuentes, when it comes to meats that are
Carnitas
consumable.
on Thanksgiving. What is wrong? You go play
delicious.
You play football
Delicious.
with the family outside and come back inside and have carnitas.
I have no
delicious.
interest in continuing
So
this
silly.
show today. I'm hot now because of Mike Fuentes and his lousy opinion.
Gross.
I'm required to show up on Friday to do it all over again, and so we will. Thank you, Geoff Schwartz. Thanks to everybody behind the glass. Like I say, we'll talk to you at the end of the week to get you right for NFL Week 12. Until then, thanks so much, my fellow football Americans. It's been a thin slice of heaven.